Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving into something truly fascinating, and honestly, totally overlooked in modern health. We are taking a deep dive into root cause resolution, specifically exploring the hidden saboteurs that just drain our vitality. And most importantly, we're looking at how we can finally reclaim our restorative sleep. So let's dive right into this journey together.
Let me ask you this. Are you just exhausted from merely managing your symptoms while the actual root cause is completely ignored? It's so frustrating, right? For so long, the traditional disease management business model has left so many patients completely drained. You know the drill, bouncing from specialist to specialist, basically just putting Band-Aids on chronic issues. Well, it's time to challenge that dogma.
That's why, in this explainer, we do things a little differently. We bridge ancient Eastern wisdom with cutting-edge, modern Western biofeedback. We want to look way beyond the surface symptoms to find the true origin of the dysfunction. Whether we're talking about chronic pain, airway issues, or that really mysterious fatigue, the goal is always to treat the root cause. This philosophy is Dr. Lewis Chan's hybrid model, and it's specifically designed to help you shift out of that chronic state of fight or flight and back into a healing state of rest and digest. So, before we jump into the hidden physiological realities of these chronic symptoms, let's just ground ourselves with this thought. May compassion be your compass, intention your guide. In the space you hold, healing finds its way.
All right, let's get right into Section 1, the hidden health saboteurs, unmasking parasitic infections.
When we put on our detective hats to investigate systemic dysfunction, we so often uncover a shocking culprit: hidden parasitic infections. These are very often the root cause of chronic exhaustion and unexplained pain. And hey, these aren't just issues you pick up on a tropical vacation, okay? They are stealthy little saboteurs operating right here, quietly undermining your health from the inside out. And they leave behind some really frustrating clues. Because parasites quietly steal essential nutrients like iron and B12, they leave you with unexplained chronic fatigue and anemia. They trigger persistent bloating, gas, and digestive distress. Your immune system's reaction can even cause intense skin rashes and itching. But honestly, the most surprising signs are neurological. Things like severe nighttime teeth grinding, which we call bruxism, and a very specific, annoying pattern of waking up between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m.
Which brings us to Section 2, how parasites hijack sleep, the biochemical chain reaction. So why on earth do these stealth infections specifically ruin our rest? Well, let's look at the terrifying and frankly fascinating objective science of what actually happens inside your body at night. This isn't just mild physical discomfort, it is a profound chemical hijacking of your central nervous system. Just take a look at this timeline. It lays out the exact physiological chain reaction. In the first phase, parasites get highly active at night, releasing all their metabolic waste straight into your bloodstream. Yikes, right? Then in the second phase, these neurotoxins actually cross your blood-brain barrier. Moving to phase 3, this toxic influx seriously disrupts your vital neurotransmitters, leading directly to systemic anxiety and mood swings. Finally, in the fourth phase, this chemical stress violently yanks your autonomic nervous system into a full-blown fight-or-flight state. Physically, your body tries to cope with this chemical stress, which often manifests as that severe nocturnal teeth grinding we talked about.
And that brings us to something known as terminal insomnia. If you are constantly waking up and staring at the clock between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m., I promise you, it is not a coincidence. This specific time frame perfectly lines up with your body's peak hepatic or liver detoxification window. Basically, your liver is working absolute overtime, struggling to process that sudden, overwhelming dump of parasitic waste. So the systemic alarm bells go off, you wake up, and you're left completely exhausted the next day.
Moving on to Section 3. The tale of two medicines, Western eradication versus Eastern restoration.
Okay, so how do we actually fix this? Historically, medical approaches have been pretty deeply divided, but the reality is each side holds a totally vital piece of the puzzle for true root cause healing. Let's compare them. Western allopathic medicine relies on highly refined synthetic agents. It is absolutely brilliant for the rapid acute clearance of specific biochemical pathways, but it often completely overlooks the host's underlying physiological state, right? The terrain. And because the gut ecosystem stays damaged, patients often just get reinfected or end up developing post-infectious IBS and SIBO. Now, on the other hand, traditional Chinese medicine provides this incredible holistic framework. It focuses on the whole ecosystem, balancing yin and yang, and crucially restoring the underlying spleen qi. That basically ensures your internal environment is no longer hospitable for pathogens to just set up shop again.
This brilliant insight is captured so perfectly in the ancient TCM concept of gu syndrome. The Chinese character for gu literally depicts 3 insects trapped inside a vessel. It's such a vivid metaphor for a slow, insidious pathogen, like parasites, dysbioses, or biofilms, that just quietly, continuously drains the host's vitality. It's amazing to think that ancient physicians recognized these stealthy, systemic infections centuries before we ever had modern objective testing. Let's look at Section 4, the integrative hybrid model, bridging 2 worlds for root cause healing.
So here is the ultimate solution. By bridging these 2 distinct worlds, we literally don't have to choose between ancient wisdom and modern science anymore. Instead, we can objectively prove the efficacy of these restorative holistic practices using cutting-edge, measurable data. It's a real game changer for root cause healing. To do this, we use some incredibly advanced objective biofeedback tools. Things like capnometry testing, which measures your end-tidal CO2 to objectively gauge how your breathing and nervous system are doing. We use autonomic nerve reflex testing to pinpoint structural and physiological dysfunction. And one of my favorites, we utilize laser acupuncture, also known as photobiomodulation. This is a totally needle-free therapy that regulates the central nervous system, boosts cellular energy, and brings down inflammation without causing any fear or anxiety whatsoever. It's incredibly safe and gentle.
So, what does this actually look like for you in the clinic? Well, it's a deeply reassuring, bottom-up protocol broken into 2 really simple sequential steps. Step 1 is the active eradication phase. This is where we might use conventional pharmaceuticals or maybe classical anti-parasitic herbs to rapidly knock down that pathogen burden. And once they're cleared out, we immediately pivot to Step 2, the restorative and preventative phase. This is where we bring in spleen-tonifying TCM formulas and that laser acupuncture to repair your intestinal mucosa, rebuild the microbiome, and actually protect your newly healed terrain from future invaders.
And finally, Section 5, reclaiming your rest, moving from fight or flight to rest and digest.
By addressing both the pathogen and the terrain, we finally give your body permission to stop fighting. We gently guide the central nervous system out of that chronic toxic fight-or-flight loop and anchor it firmly back into a grounded, parasympathetic rest and digest state. Honestly, that is exactly how you reclaim your restorative sleep. Thank you so much for joining me today for this explainer. I really hope this deep dive sheds some light on the hidden connections happening right inside your body. Just remember, whether you're dealing with restless sleep, chronic pain, or airway issues, true healing only begins when we stop endlessly chasing symptoms and start addressing the root cause. If you found value in today's explainer, please share it with a friend, a parent, or a colleague who might be desperately searching for answers. And definitely don't forget to subscribe so we can keep growing our health village together.
Until next time, may compassion be your compass, intention your guide. In the space you hold, healing finds its way.
But before you go, I want to leave you with this one question. Is your body trying to tell you something in the middle of the night that your fancy sleep tracker just can't? Think about it. Now, please note, the information shared in this explainer is for educational and informational purposes only and does not constitute medical or dental advice. It is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition. Always consult with a qualified healthcare provider regarding your specific medical needs or before making any changes to your healthcare routine.